Here we go. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the Calm Down, It's Fine podcast. Thank you so much for being with us. I don't even know what episode this is. 55, I think?
6, maybe?
56, yeah. Episode 56. You can tell we're prepared. It's me, David, Harrison, and Dustin. Let's get started. Here we go. What's up, guys?
Hey.
Yeah, no, it's just me and David. I figured if I said everyone, you would make it through the intro and be like, oh, yeah, everyone's here.
We finally cut the dead weight.
Cut the dead weight.
This is how we envisioned the podcast when we started.
Yes. We're not recording. We got it on video, though.
That's funny.
We just started our intro, and we weren't recording.
So now I'm gonna make those jokes like it's the first time.
If you want to see how the episode started, go to YouTube because we caught it on there. It's all on YouTube.
It's on the camera.
Yeah, it's on the camera, but the board wasn't sunk with it.
All right, run it back.
You want me to run it back? Okay, here's what we did. Wait, are we cutting all that out?
Huh?
Are we cutting all that out?
The audio listeners need an intro.
Here we go. Try to match it perfectly. Here we go. Right, here's what it was. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Calm Down, It's Fine podcast. I'm not even sure what episode this is. Is it 55?
I think it's 6.
56. Yeah, 56. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. We have David, Dustin, Harrison,
Hello.
And me. Enjoy the podcast. What's up, guys? Psych, it's just me and David.
Hey, the way we envisioned the podcast.
Cut the dead weight.
Yep. We're cut the dead weight. They're out of here.
Yeah. Oh, it's not recording. That's where we were. We're back.
All right.
We are live
You're
again.
Caught up.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. Verbatim. I have PGA Golf on. David, are you aware of everything that's been going on with the PGA and Live Golf and all that stuff?
No.
No?
What's Live Golf?
Live Golf. It's a Saudi-funded golf.
Oh, I have heard about this.
Yeah, so basically, the PGA Tour is like the premier golf league. It's the U.S. golf, whatever. It's like the NFL.
I thought it was the only one.
It is. There's like, there's that one, and there's like the Corn Ferry Tour, which the Corn Ferry.
I gotta be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't think I could be a part of something called the Corn Ferry.
The Corn Ferry Tour. The Corn Ferry Tour is like the minor league. So you go on the Corn Ferry Tour out of college or whatever, and you try to get your PGA Tour card. Most guys try to get it from there. So
is it delivered by the Corn Ferry?
The Corn Ferry, the Tooth Fairy, the Corn Ferry.
Hey.
But anyways, Live Golf started in Saudi Arabia, or what? The Middle East.
Middle East.
They've got billions.
Saudi
and billions,
has all the money,
billions of dollars. So they were basically starting a league. They in the league got who's that? No, I forget the guy's name, but he's a real famous golfer. He's a real flamboyant character. I forget his name, but he's like their head. He is like their whatever, and they've been going after PGA Tour golfers for the last like 2 years. Like it's been a big big fight. And it's hard for some of these PGA guys not to take it because it's literally a $300 million signing bonus. Yeah. And the biggest purse they can win on tour is $20 million. Like on the PGA Tour.
Right, because money is literally it's nothing to them over there.
So what the PGA Tour is saying and was doing to keep their players in was like the Live is run by, that golf league has 1 million human what's it called?
Trafficking.
Not human trafficking, but it's human violations, but there's another word for it. Like they don't treat women right. They kill.
Okay,
they kill homosexuals.
Right. Human civil rights, like kind of a thing. Yeah.
Human right violations, whatever. And so the PGA has been like, you can't go play for these people. What about your morals? What about your character? What about your, do you stand for anything? And so they've basically been guilting the PGA guys into not going. The LIV guys are like, look, I have to. You'd have to be crazy. Like they don't have to play as much. They're playing instead of like playing like 50 tournaments a year, they're playing like 15, and they're making quadruple the millions, and they don't even have to win to make money. And so they're got whatever. I didn't like the idea of it, but the guys who stayed with the PGA, I thought that's cool. That shows character. It's not about money for them. But
it is and it isn't, because they're doing the same thing in soccer. Like I think they just offered Cristiano Ronaldo like
the Saudis
an absurd amount of money.
They did the same thing with Messi.
Right.
He was actually playing for them, I think.
Messi? No, Messi, because Messi just won the World Cup.
Okay.
Which makes him the GOAT, the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
And Ronaldo was offered like an absurd amount of money to go play soccer over there. And they were like, well, is he going to do it? Da-da-da-da-da. And he did it. But here's what I mean by it.
And it was the same thing, right?
Right.
Like people were looking at them like, you're playing for this people. They're abusive to women, abusive to homosexuals, or whatever.
It's not about the money, but it is about the money, because let's be honest. Let's say, you win this and you win 20 million, right?
Yeah.
There's a certain amount of money that you make and it changes nothing.
Right.
Like once you've reached a certain point of rich,
yeah. You can't buy a yacht with 20 million.
It doesn't matter how much more money you have.
Right,
your quality of life is not going to change.
Right.
There's not a big difference between having $100 million and $300 million. Like it doesn't matter.
Right. There's a significant difference between 20 million and 300 million.
There is, but if you can't figure out how to survive off of $20 million,
no, I get it. The problem is the winner is winning 20 million.
Okay, so be better.
Yeah. There's half these guys aren't winning.
Okay,
I mean, so many of these guys aren't winning, so they're walking away with $2 million per, which is great. I mean, they're whatever, and they're playing every weekend, but the chances of them winning is very slim because you have the best golfers in the world. So the LIV, like Phil Mickelson went. I think they paid him $300 million.
Would you?
Dustin Johnson.
Would you go? Would you go?
Here's my quandary.
I don't believe.
They're all wearing Nike.
I don't believe in rights anyway. So
they're all walking around wearing stuff that kids in Taiwan made.
True.
So what do we?
Well, so that's the other part of the argument is that people will argue about.
So they're all wearing Nike,
right? People will argue about, all kinds
What's
of
the word?
inhumane things that people are doing, and it's like, hey, bro, you got an iPhone in your pocket.
Yeah. So basically, my point is, here's what happened, David. I don't know if you know this. So like some of these players, they were offered 300 mil, 200 mil just to sign. That's not even playing.
Right. That's not even play. It's just a.
They said, no, my morals or whatever, I can't stand for that, for the LIV Tour, for the Saudis, what they do and what they stand for.
Right.
And so I'm not going.
What?
And the PGA Tour is like, thank you for being, for staying faithful.
We just had this 8-year-old make your shirt.
Last week, the PGA and the LIV joined.
No way, really?
Yes.
So they're the one.
They're one.
All right.
And so now all the players who didn't take it are like,
are you? Wait, no. So, dude,
yes,
that's crazy. So,
yes. Now it's one organization
who have signed on the $300 million.
They made the best decision of their lives.
They made that money.
They made it,
and
now the other guys don't get anything. They have to keep playing and winning.
Bro,
it's a no-brainer. It's one of the biggest controversies in sports right now, dude.
I'd be so angry.
People are furious.
Actually,
there's a guy who went on there and goes, I would like to be thanked for my loyalty. He's like, actually, I want to be paid for my loyalty.
Actually, I wouldn't be angry because I would have taken the money. So I would have taken the money.
But even like the Full Swing, that documentary I was telling you about,
yeah,
the whole thing is about this controversy.
Oh, so that's what this is about.
Well,
okay.
it's about individual players, and then halfway through, it's like, are you gonna go golf for live? And that the players are like, I don't know, it's a lot of money, and they're all getting these offers, and then like Rory McIlroy, he's like the face of the PGA, like they enlisted him to be their guy, and now he could have made $1 billion,
right?
And he's like, now he hasn't won a major in 9 years. So he's like not been making millions. He does endorsements or whatever.
Here's the other thing, though.
They're
like,
fine, but the point is,
isn't golf kind of like a rich guy sport anyway?
Yeah, well, it was, and it's still. I guess it could be labeled that, but it's definitely taking off. Like that's why Live came out, because the PGA is known as stiff, rigid. Well,
what I mean is, like,
what's the word? The history, like
right.
the legacy of the PGA, and Live is like fun and right. rowdy and edgy, and
I'm already more interested.
But that's what their angle is, and so a lot more young people are like, you can go to a Live thing and you can scream and you can yell and you can have a good time,
right.
and everyone can drink, and it's just like a big party. That's how they've patterned. So more people are like,
it's like it's an actual. They treat it like it's an actual sport.
Yes. Whereas here, everyone's like holding up.
But what I'm saying is aren't these guys? All of these guys were way well off before they got into the PGA. Were they not?
No.
Like, it's not like some home.
No.
Like, listen, maybe not crazy rich, but there's not. One of these guys didn't grow up in like Akron, Ohio with his mom, doesn't know his dad, and like just dedicated his life to golf, and now he's the best golfer in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like
I know what they make. Like, I've been looking up what the Corn Ferry guys make, like the minor leaguers. They're not well. I mean, they might make $60,000 a year because you don't win every week.
I mean, but what I'm saying is these people come from like
some do, some
come from money,
some do, some don't. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. But, I mean, in their individual careers, they have to win to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And even at that, it's not like compared to most sports, it doesn't pay out. Like, you have to be very good. Like, you have to be in the top 50 in the world to get paid. Like, so it's and it's a hard sport, dude. It is so hard.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's got to be hard to get in because, like, the barrier to entry is, like...
Like, it is so hard.
You can't just... Like I said, like you can get 9 other guys and go to the park and play basketball and get good at basketball. Right. But, like, in order to get into a golf club, like...
It's expensive.
You're paying money to get in that. So it's like, I understand that the barrier to entry is way more difficult than it is your typical...
Let me give you some...
Your typical sport.
Let me...
Golf is one of those things where I think that if I took the time to get good at it, I would have a fun time playing it, but I just don't know.
Let's see. Live golf.
Like, I don't think I could get into it like I got into basketball or...
Who's the leader?
Speaking of basketball, I called Denver in 5.
Yeah, me too.
And Denver wins in 5.
Yeah. I said they were going to win 1, right? The Heat, yeah.
Yeah, I gave the Heat 1.
Greg Norman, this guy, he's the Live, like, whatever. He used to be a really great golfer.
He's the guy who went over.
Their face, yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was about to say that guy doesn't look like a Saudi at all.
PGA Tour legends Greg Norman is Live CEO in name only. But the point was, you gotta see Donald Trump's.
So who kind of like runs this merger? Like who? Like did Live buy out PGA?
Yes.
So Live bought PGA.
They paid. Hey baby, you okay? Hi Mia. Hold up, let me check this. All right. Did you find that text or that tweet from Donald Trump? What's it say?
So about a year ago, it looks like he tweeted it on my birthday, 2022.
Look at that.
July 18th, 2022, Donald Trump says, all of those golfers that remain, in quotes, loyal to the very disloyal PGA and all of its different forms will pay a big price when the inevitable merger with Live comes, and you get nothing but a big thank you from PGA officials who are making millions of dollars a year. If you don't take the money now, you will get nothing after the merger takes place, and only say how smart the original signees were. Good luck to all, and congratulations to really talented Cam Smith on his incredible win.
That says it all.
That's kind of crazy.
It's a year before, but that's exactly what's happening.
I mean,
the PGA's been like, you got to stay with us. You got to stay. And now they're like, literally overnight, the news breaks, PGA merger with Liv. And it's like, what? So everyone's saying the Saudis bought the PGA Tour by basically saying, if you drop these lawsuits, we'll give you $1 trillion.
Right, because money means nothing to them. Yeah, that's kind of crazy that they were like, you need to stay loyal to us,
Dude,
And
it was
then,
like
and then they were like, oh, wait, you can pay us? Okay.
Yeah, and now all the players, you have Dustin Johnson, you have Phil Mickelson, you have Koepka, Brooks Koepka, like all these guys. And Brooks Koepka just won a few weeks ago. Like, he's the live guy, and they were so upset that he won. He was able to, because they banned them, all those players, from the PGA, but they could play in majors, which is the PGA Championship, the U.S. Open, the Masters, and like one other one. Mm-hmm. They could, if they qualified, they could play in those, but they couldn't play like in all the other events year round.
So, one, I don't understand how you get banned from golf.
Well, you get banned from the PGA Tour golf.
Did you clap too loud or something?
Yeah.
I don't know. But so if Liv has, I guess, bought out PGA, merged with them, I guess if that's what they're calling it, are things going to be the way Liv wanted them to be, or are the two kind of staying separate?
So they're supposed to be separate.
They're still going to be like,
technically, it's like America being owned by China. Like, that's sort of what it's like. Like, everyone says, follow the money.
Right. So Liv is going to be like, you guys can still do what you want to do. You can be...
Yeah, I'm sure they're all the stuff says it's going to be the same.
Right.
But everyone's like, it's really.
So Liv's like, we bought your legacy.
It was a fight. It was a war. And then the next one day, the commissioner of PGA and the commissioner of Liv are sitting next to each other.
It was
just talking. Saying they postured to be a war.
From day one, the Saudis were like, "There's a number, bro."
yeah,
and we have it.
Let's be honest.
Give us a number. We can pay it.
It's insane. Anyways, so that's golf. That's what's happening, and I just think it's so funny. So, moral of the story is, if somebody offers you a butt ton of money,
take it. No questions asked.
Take it. Don't ask where it's from, because everyone has money in their wallet that a murderer once had.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, you just don't know. Like, this money could have been handled by a murderer.
Most of the money I use is counterfeit anyway. So
yeah. Someone said to missionaries, like, you go anywhere, any church that will let you speak. And this one missionary was like, should I go to this? It was like a Baptist missionary in a Catholic church. Like, a guy knew, wanted him to come, and it was a Catholic church. He's like, he talked to his pastor. He's like, should I go? The pastor's like, absolutely. Their money is just
Brother Sampson used to say this thing all the time when we were, when I was younger, and he'd be like taking donations for teen camp or taking donations for youth rally or something like that. He would say, please donate. I'll take money from anywhere. I'll use the devil's money if I got to. I'll use the devil's money if I got to.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
This is so great. But anyways, I have chiggers right now. Dude, like, my leg. You know what chiggers are?
Uh-huh.
Dude, I'm eating. Look at this. I'm, like, eating up.
Oh.
You know how I got it?
Being outside.
Golfing.
Hey.
All over, and I cannot. I'm just scratching my legs raw.
I found 2 ticks on the back of my knee.
Yikes, that's the worst.
Last night, and I was
From
like,
what?
So I went and played disc golf on Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
Checked for ticks, didn't see any because they were like on the inside of my knee. And then last night I was like, man, I had an itch, and I felt one.
2 ticks?
Yeah.
Same spot?
Yeah.
Like, they just were crawling together. Let's think about that.
They were like, hey.
How about right here?
They were like, this is it. They went out to eat. Table for 2. Back of this guy's knee. And now, like...
It's just funny to me. They're like, this'll do.
Now,
right here.
Yeah, I treated it... I treated it like I do like a splinter. Like, I don't fiddle with splinters. Like, oh, let me carefully try to get the splinter out. I go.
You just cut the finger off.
I don't cut the finger off, but I'll grab like nail clippers and I just go like this and I just take all of it out. I just go boop boop. The skin.
Yeah. You're like taking a shovel, like you're trying to get something out, like depotting a plant. You just go under the root.
Yeah. That's just where I just boop, boop, and I just take it out. I'm like, the finger will heal. We're good. Like, you don't have to go
it's like
deep.
A gaping hole.
No, you don't have to go deep. Like, what I usually do, and I did the same thing with the ticks, is I went just far enough to where it started to bleed. When, like...
I would love to hear a doctor's like, hey, do you ever... I don't take splinters out. I remove meat from my...
Well, it's not meat. It's just like the top couple layers of skin.
Were they little ticks?
Ticks? Yeah. Well, one was like a little bigger than the other. One was like super, super tiny. But yeah, I just said boop, boop, took it off, and then flushed them down the toilet. But
they come back. They crawl up the toilets. You know that, right?
Oh, well. They
swim very well.
Google said you could flush them. Well, the big one was in 2 parts. So
You can't kill a tick, even if you cut it up.
I think you're making that up. You're making all that up. Which is fine.
You're supposed to burn them. Look it up.
I did. I Googled it yesterday. They said you could flush them down the toilet.
Are you sure there's not ticks on your butt now?
Yeah.
You crawl back up the toilet. I'm back, buddy.
Hey. So yeah, no, that's just like, I can't, like, when I was a kid, I didn't like.
If you tune into YouTube, you're gonna see me just going to town on my leg.
When I was a kid, I just didn't
like
taking the time to like try to finesse a splinter out of like the top couple layers of my skin.
No.
So it was just like, just take nail clippers and just like boop boop.
I'm not about that life. Like my grandfather, I'd get a splinter or something. He'd like pull out his knife. Like he lived for it.
Right.
Live. Not sponsored by Lip Golf. He lived for getting his knife out and digging a splinter out of your finger or hand.
It's an odd
and I'm
thing
just
to,
like
be excited about.
Oh, dude, it was
oh,
life.
Bro.
And so I that just never. I don't never want someone digging in my finger because they don't know what hurts, what doesn't. Like they think they're being all
right.
Like, oh, I'm good, but they're like murdering you. Like it's the worst, dude.
Well, when you're a kid,
it's like someone picking like your mom picking your zit on your back or your head or something. She's like, yeah, give me that hair.
We live very different lives,
dude. Let me tell you, my mother would pick all my zits and my brother's zits to this day.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's the truth though. Like she'll like you have a zit on your shoulder or something, and she'd be like, and it's just the most painful, like, and
that's
she's like, I barely touched you.
That's so gross.
Or my wife, she will definitely pick my zits. Like if I have a zit on my shoulder, for sure, dude.
No, bro.
No, for sure. Like, no, it's definitely
no.
Heck, if my brother has a zit on his face or like on his head anywhere, I'd be like picking it, bro.
Now my wife,
my brother. Like I grew up doing that, and I will like do it publicly.
That's a weird thing to
it's weird,
admit.
But I'm a pimple popper washer.
Bro, you're
Dr.
weird.
Pimple
you're
popper.
Weird. I've seen it.
I am that person. I have a pimple removing kit.
I mean, that's probably useful, but
it's like it looks like a.
But to look forward to
someone
using
comes
it on
into
other
the room
people is weird.
To torture you. You know, like in a movie, like it's like the dimmed lights. The guy's strung up, and then the guy comes in and like lays out a sack of tools, like just metal, clang, 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 and the guy's like, oh, and you're like, oh, he's about to get tortured for info.
I don't think
I have that.
I don't think I can look at you the same way ever again,
dude. Ask my brother how many zits I picked off his face.
I don't. Stop. That's so. My wife likes to peel dead skin, like when I get sunburn.
Oh my gosh, dude, that's disgusting.
She likes to.
Stop. What?
She likes to.
No, that's gross. No, dude, that's too far.
You're gaslighting.
It's all subjective.
It's not subjective.
Yeah, it's totally subjective.
No, it's not subjective.
Totally.
Because the skin's
there's multiple. No, being able to pick somebody else's zit is not a big deal.
When my wife peels the dead skin off of my shoulder because I'm Scottish and the sun kills me when I go outside.
I'm Scottish.
When my wife peels that skin off,
Rory McIlroy is Scottish.
That's the end of it. You are literally, your goal is to extract nasty gook out of other people.
It's not nasty gook.
It is.
Sometimes it's nothing. Sometimes it's blood.
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, you're right. You know what? That's not weird at all.
It's like
It's weird, bro.
it's like wiping your kid's butt, you know?
I don't know.
It's like that poop that isn't really poop.
It's definitely poop. It's definitely poop. No matter which way you look at it, where it came from, poop is
It's
poop.
not really, but it's like
How is Dustin not here and we're talking about poop?
Dustin had a zit the other day, and I was like, "Bro, let me get that." And he goes, "What?"
Yeah, dude, that's weird, man. That's weird. It's a weird thing.
I pray for zits on literally the only person, because you gotta understand, if you listen to the last episode, my little brother, like we were super close, but like he would have a zit and it'd be like right on the front of his head, and he just would never pick it, and I'm like, I would love to have zits, but I have a perfect complexion, you know.
Oh my God.
I'm just joking. I would love to have that on my head so I could pick it. So Kazi's like a little, like, 11, and I'm like, Kazi, I've got to get that, and he's just like, okay, I get it, just hurry. And I'd clean his face off, and then I'd say, go scrub it, go clean your head or whatever. But he just never would pick his zits, literally, and it'd be so obvious. Get it off your face, man. And so whenever I see people with zits, I don't understand, like, why they don't get them off their face. I'm like, what are you doing?
It's disturbing how comfortable you are.
Literally, we'll be at like
zits.
work or something, and I'll walk over to Kazi and I'll like roll up his sleeve, look at his, see if his shoulders, clean.
It's so gross, dude. Like, I don't.
And he's like, gets so frustrated. He's like,
you should probably see a therapist about this.
Yeah. Well, my mom was the same way with us, and so I know I got it from her.
Hey, listen, I love your mom. That's weird. It's weird.
No, it's not.
It's weird.
I guarantee you there's a ton of people who have kids and they pick their kids' zits. Guarantee it.
And if I met any of those people, I'd go, hey, bro, that's weird.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really, it's fine. I'm good, man. It's not the weirdest thing that I've been accused of. I don't know what else is more weird than that, but.
It's up there. It's got to be up there.
Don't even care.
Back to the splinters, though.
Don't even care.
This is a true story. When I was a kid, one time I was riding my bike.
Pimple popper for life.
Gross. When I was a kid, I was riding my bike, and I was little. I was probably like 10, 11. Riding my bike, and I rode it down by the post office down the street from my house, and I went to get on my bike, lost balance, and went to catch myself on a utility pole.
Split. Oh.
Dude, when I tell you I looked like an X-Man with all the splinters sticking out of my hand. Like, I could have just, if I slapped somebody, it would have been assault with a deadly weapon.
Dude.
Like, my entire hand was just like riddled with splinters. It was the worst. It was terrible.
No. Yeah, splinters. I've had pretty bad splinter before. Right in this, I'll tell you what the worst thing I ever happened to me was. Not splinter, but it was a fish hook.
Oh.
Yeah, so
that sounds terrible.
That was such a straight shot. The golf is on the TV. So me and my sister Meredith, we were driving 4-wheelers and we were fishing in front of our house. There's like a pond in the woods. And so we were fishing. We had 2 4-wheelers. We each had our own 4-wheeler. She had her fishing pole. I had my fishing pole. We all had our own poles, own 4-wheelers. We take off, and she's in front of me, and her fishing pole the hook gets caught on a tree limb. Right? And so she's driving, and it's just unwinding until she realized the hook, my fishing pole is hooked.
Oh, and it finally gave.
Right. So, she stops, I stop, I saw what happened, so I go to get, sorry, I'll put this right there. We gotta get different mic stands. I don't even know who bought us these mic stands.
To this day.
No, don't know. Anyways.
I still think we should try to figure out how to get wireless mics, or at least clip on.
Yeah, I guess we could attempt to. So I reach up to the tree to unhook the hook, and she had thought that I got it off, and she takes off. It hooks me in the palm and rips all the way across to the center in between my index and pointer and middle finger. Just my pointer finger and middle finger, just a line of just rippage in my hand, just gone. And I'm like, what? I mean, just went the most jagged.
Like you were pulling a tooth. Like it
went.
That's
unzipped my hand.
It unzipped. That's
like,
dude. That's
I was
miserable,
so
dude.
mad, and it was a dirty hook.
Did you die?
No.
Oh.
But I did. Since that day, I've loved picking people's zits.
I don't know how the two are correlated, but it's gross. Both stories.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a question about just we're talking about the weird things that you do. I heard something from somebody.
Oh Lord!
And I told them that
I hope it's not something I said.
I told them
I've said so many. Let me let you know this. People repeat things that I say. I must be.
I'll
just
tell you
on
this. If it was,
autopilot.
I'm
just
if it was bad, I wouldn't be saying it on the podcast. But it is weird.
Oh Lord!
Somebody brought to my attention.
Can I know the person who it is?
Yeah, you could probably guess.
Okay.
But I have a question for you, and I want you to answer honestly.
Oh Lord, please, Jesus.
Cameron Manarazi, do you shape up your eyebrows?
I don't.
You don't?
No.
Oh, I was lied to.
So here's who told you this?
One Olin Kaus.
Okay. Well.
And here's how it came up.
Okay.
Me and Olin were Marco Poloing the other day. And he I guess was shaping up his eyebrow and messed up. Not like he didn't like shave his eyebrow off, but like it was enough to where like you could see it on the Marco Polo and you were like, "Hey, buddy." But he was like freaking out about it. He was like, "Dude, I messed up my eyebrows." Da, 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 da. And he was like telling me about it, and I was like, "You know what's worse than messing up shaping up your eyebrows?" And he said, "What's that?" And I was like, "Being a man and shaping your eyebrows." And this is what he told me. He said, Cameron Manarazi does it. And I go, 1, who cares? 2, why? What are you talking about? And he goes, yo, dude, when I was younger, I guess it was at teen camp, Meredith goes, you need to tame your eyebrows, bro. And he was like, what? No, I'm not going to tame my eyebrows. And she said, oh, Cameron does it. We used to do it for Cameron. Cameron does it. Cameron shapes up his eyebrows.
Never touched my eyebrows.
So
I've never touched them.
This is what he told me. And he said he started because Meredith said that his eyebrows were unruly.
Here's what it is.
And
here's where he's
the
getting
justification was that you did it.
Here's where he's getting that. I have never touched my eyebrows. But a girl in our church cuts my hair. Leanne.
Mm-hmm.
She's a whatever.
Yeah.
So
stylist,
I've gone to her forever.
Mm-hmm.
And so she'll cut my hair. And then she always just takes a thing and cuts my, like,
unibrow?
I don't know. She just does something up here. Like, she just trims them, I guess.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't shape them. And I've never done it. It's like, it's part of the haircut. Like, she doesn't do my beard, but it's like I've never touched them. And I've went to her my whole life.
I'm just saying this. He told me.
Is that shaping your eyebrows? And I don't do it.
He made it sound like
it's not like a.
He made it sound like you were trying to tame some caterpillars on your face, bro. That's what the way he made it sound to me. And I was like, I'm gonna bring this up on the podcast, and he said, please don't. And I went, well, now I'm definitely gonna do it.
It's fine. But Leanne,
he said,
cut my hair my whole life. Well, since I was 18, so 10 years, she's cut my hair.
He said it almost as if he said, Cameron Manarazi shapes his eyebrows, and I was gonna go, oh, it's normal then. But I was like, okay, so Cameron's weird too. Stop.
Yeah, no, I get it. Have you ever had someone else shape up your beard?
Yes. So,
because I've never done that.
While we were in Portugal,
is it weird to shape up your eyebrows but not your beard? But is it weird to shape up your beard but not your eyebrows?
I don't understand the question you're asking me.
Why is it weird to shape up your eyebrows? Which I agree, it's weird. But why is it weird when you shape up your whole face?
I don't think that it's.
Have you ever seen? Have you ever seen? Now again, Latino America and wherever else. I don't know who does it, but I think it's the Puerto Ricans. because you have Puerto Ricans in our church who do it. They have the dashes in their eyebrow.
Oh, that's not just that's like a thing now. People put notches in their eyebrows.
It used to be. I'm pretty sure it was Puerto Rican. It was like a but when I was younger,
I used to have
friends who had. I thought it was cool.
I used to have a notch in my eyebrow. It wasn't on purpose, but it was because
Just a birth defect.
No, I busted my head on the corner of a wall, and I had a scar. So I used to have like a notch in this eyebrow, and I was a trendsetter. And now people do it today.
Yes,
so
that's it. So it's Irish,
Scottish. So
very red skin.
Yeah, I used to think I was Irish, and then my dad took a DNA test, and I found out my whole life was a lie.
Wait, before we get farther, Meredith would have said to him that my eyebrows get shaped because I guess she cuts my eyebrows. The girl cuts my eyebrows or she trims them, and it's like probably once a year.
All right, do you want to hear a funny story?
So that's where that rumor would have come from. Meredith knowing that, telling him, yeah, he does his, but I've never touched him.
So here's a funny story, and I'm going to use names.
My sisters might have touched him. I don't remember.
And they might not. This person might not be thrilled with this story, but it's a very funny story.
Send it.
So Michael Shane, if you're listening to this,
he doesn't listen. No one I know actually listens now. All of our listeners, our plethora of listeners, are
people we don't know.
Are people we don't know, which is good.
Yeah. I know less people than I don't know.
What? I know less people than I don't know.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. More people, I said that right. I know less people than I don't know.
You know less people that listen to this podcast that you know.
I'm saying generally, in the grand scheme of things, if you took the people that I do know and the people I don't know, the people that I do know, that group would be way smaller.
Okay. You lost me.
So anyway, this is a true story. Years and years ago.
Like, is this like 20 years ago? We're talking like 5 years.
No, this is probably...
Years and years equaling 3 years?
I want to say, no, this is probably 7 to 8 years ago.
Okay.
Ish.
That's good. You can say years and years ago then.
Years and years ago.
Approved. Stamp it.
A multiple number of years. It was right before our August revival. Or maybe it was during the August revival. It might have been during the August revival. August revival is involved, and it's an important part of the story. Michael Shane and George Mitchell. George's wife was a hairstylist, April. I say was. She is. She still is. But George and Michael Shane went to go get their hair cut at the salon.
Sounds good.
April's cutting the hair. They're hanging out at the salon, and George goes, "Hey, let me wax your eyebrows."
To Michael Shane?
To Michael Shane. And Michael Shane's like, "What? No."
Why?
He goes, "No, because it's George." And George did weird things
gone?
just to be weird. No, not gone, but like, right, like to shape him up. And he goes, let me wax like your eyebrows to shape them. And Michael Shane's like, "No." And he's like, let me do it. And Michael Shane's like, no. George is like, I've done it before, right? So they go back and forth, whatever. Michael Shane concedes.
You can't do that. You can't tell another man to touch your eyebrows. If you have a zit that you can't get, it's okay. If you're brothers. Mia down, baby.
I know. Hello. Thank you.
Mia down.
Hello. All right. I got to
Stop.
go back to work.
Stop.
All right.
Get.
So George waxes eyebrows, right? And Michael Shane comes in, and that night for August revival, and you can't tell what's different about Michael Shane's face, but you can tell that like when somebody gets a haircut and you're like,
their beard and you're
and you're like, something's off. I don't know what it is. So he has his eyebrows, and then everything on his forehead, like around his eyebrows, is like, I'm talking like it's clean, bro.
No sun.
Yeah, dude, it is clean. So
it's like he took off a pair of sunglasses.
So George is like, hey, he's telling people, he's like, hey, Mark Shane let me wax his eyebrows today. Look at this, so funny. Right? And it's like a funny thing that George is saying. Well, Mark McGahee finds out. Right? But all Mark McGahee hears is Michael Shane waxes his eyebrows. And dude, and Mark McGahee was relentless on Michael Shane, and George felt so bad. So bad that after the service, he went and apologized to Michael Shane. He's like, "Hey, I'm so sorry that I talked you into that." Like, I mean, dude, it was so funny.
Have you ever got a pedicure?
No,
Man,
I have not.
Me neither.
Although I don't know if I would be like against it, but my fingers are jacked up.
It's a foot one I'm talking about.
Oh, I've definitely not done that.
Yeah, me neither. I've never done a hand one either. I feel like my man card is in question, and my wife's like, "You should get a pedicure with me," and I'm like, "I can't do that."
I don't know if I could mentally let people near my feet. Like,
it'd be rough.
I never take my socks
apparently,
off.
but then everyone's like, "Oh, well, so and so, like the most manly man I know, does it all the time," and I'm like, "I get it, but like if you have
my response to that would be like, the most manly man I know does it all the time. I'd be like, so then he's not the most manly man.
So check it off.
Yeah. Do you understand how the hierarchy
he moves up,
shifts
moves
after
down.
that? Yeah. Like there's levels to this.
So but I guess people who have ingrown toe, I can see that.
Oh, if you've got an ingrown toenail problem,
and you need that, yeah, okay.
I understand.
There's your pass. Do that, because I don't ever want to say I'll never do it because I have had ingrown toenails and they're.
Phil Hess used to just rip his toenails off. Right now, that's the manliest man thing I could think of.
All right.
He would have ingrown toenails, and he would just be like, it would hurt him so bad that he would just be like, oh, and
he
would
ripped
just
the whole
like,
toenail off.
Yeah,
I thought you were saying, yeah.
He would just rip his toenail off.
Yeah.
And I was like,
okay.
And then he would, and then he would limp around for like a day or two because his toe hurt. But then he'd be fine afterwards, and he'd be like, "All right, I'm good," because it would hurt. His ingrown toenail would hurt so bad. Like I remember one day I was at his house, and he was like, "Dude, I can't deal with it anymore." And he went to the bathroom. He was in the bathroom for like 20 minutes, and then he came out, and he was just like, "All right." And I was like, "What were you doing?" He's like, "I ripped my toenail off," and I was like, "What?"
Can't do that.
And he was like, "Yeah, I just couldn't. I had an ingrown toenail, couldn't deal with the pain anymore. Just
can't do that."
I was like, "Dude, what is wrong with you?"
My hand hurts. Let's cut it off.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt anymore, I guess. But yeah, that's wild.
He like takes a match and sticks it on to dry it out, so it doesn't.
Oh man, yeah, I don't. Phil was a different breed.
Oh my goodness. So, do you use fingernail clippers?
I do. I just used them before I came here.
Do you do them on your toes too?
Yes.
Mm.
What? I don't know what that. What does mean?
Dude, I haven't used fingernail clippers in years.
What do you do?
I pick everything.
What do you mean you pick everything?
My fingernails? I pick them.
Okay. You know, how do you get your toenails short?
I pick them.
Like you just like take.
No, it's like I just have. I don't know. I mean, I don't do it like out in public. I'm just pick them. And they look normal. Like
I mean, I guess it doesn't. I guess this doesn't matter because you're wearing shoes, so like nobody.
Yeah, I'm not a flip flop wearer.
I do bite my fingernails, and that's why my fingers are always.
So
like,
there they are. That's the gayest thing you'll ever see. It's just me but they look normal. But they say if you, I don't know.
Oh no, dude, my fingers are not normal
That's
at all.
gonna embarrass my wife, I bet. And
like
my mother.
look, like see how like I chew on my fingers, and then it gets bad, and then
yeah, I don't even know. I don't know. I never use fingernail clippers like ever. Like maybe a couple times in my life.
I use fingernail clippers for fingernails, for toenails, for splinters, for literally.
I don't use them, dude.
For ticks, I use fingernail clippers.
For food, for eating.
No, I don't do that. That's weird, bro. My feet been on them things.
Yeah, I don't, and I guess my wife was probably gonna be like, "Yeah, that you shouldn't tell people that," but it's just.
It's on the internet now.
Yeah, it's out there.
And the millions of
finding
listeners.
a lot of weird things about me tonight.
Yeah, bro.
It's what makes me unique, though. It's who I am, David. It's my truth.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But the good thing is, nobody in this world has to worry about my feet.
Very true.
It doesn't matter.
I brought this up to some people at our church because we were talking about like people who wear socks and shoes and stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And I
wear them all the time.
I am a sock individual.
We went to like my wife's family's vacation last week.
Mm-hmm.
Like we go to the beach. It's like a private, off in the corner, like no one's there. Whatever beach. You have to clarify that. But like I went with tennis shoes on. I'm just like,
yeah, I do the same. So I always
see all that.
I'm always
no one needs to see me naked.
I'm always in,
and basically that to me is naked.
I'm always in socks and shoes. And I was explaining to we were playing basketball one Sunday night, and I don't even know how the topic came up, but I asked one of the girls that was there. I said, guys are different. I said, because girls' feet are just, it seems like they're always out. They're always wearing sandals, flip-flops,
right.
whatever it is.
It's
like,
not weird.
It's not like you've seen all of your friends'
It would
toes.
be weird if all the girls walked around in tennis shoes and all their outfits. It'd be like, what are you doing?
It's like, I said, you've seen all of your friends' feet. I said,
yes.
I said,
never seen your feet.
I can
David.
probably count on one hand how many other guys have seen my feet.
I know. It's so private.
It's just like a thing, dude. Guys just aren't like putting their piggers out there for everybody to see.
No.
Like it's just a thing, man.
No.
We don't.
I couldn't agree. I've never agreed with you more on anything than that right there.
It's one thing, like if you're at a pool.
My feet are ugly.
I think feet in general aren't exactly attractive things.
My feet are ugly.
But like if me and you were at a pool and we're swimming,
that's normal.
Then my feet are out. But even then, I'm not looking at your feet.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's just like a thing. And then we get out of the pool and I'm throwing some shoes and socks on.
No, that's not what happens. That's inappropriate.
It's just like guys have never seen.
I've always thought it was just odd, like just dudes. Like when I meet someone and they're like when I have a friend or whatever and they show up in like shorts and flip flops, I'm like, that's very bold of you.
Right. Now, inevitably, somebody's going to email in and talk about how like their best friend like gives them foot massages or something weird, right? Like
I don't care. I mean, it's fine. You wear flip flops. You can do what you want.
Yeah, I think less of you, but do it.
It's weird.
Yeah. I said, and I told them, I said, if another guy has seen my feet, our relationship has changed. Yeah. Like you're not one of the closest people to me in my life.
Now, I feel like I want to be ready to like run. Like I don't know why, but I feel like when I'm in flip flops, I feel like I am so vulnerable.
Such a weird stance to take.
When I'm in flip flops, I feel like I'm gonna get beat up. I feel like if I have to protect my family or anything, I'm just like,
you can't do it in flip flops.
Yeah, I just don't feel. I feel vulnerable. Like when I go to my dad's house, I put on jeans. And tennis shoes, because I'm like, I'm not going to my dad's house, and it's just how I don't know. I know how my dad's gonna be dressed,
right?
And I know like if my dad comes over here, I'm not wearing like basketball shorts. I'm putting on jeans and like my good shoes. Like I'm gonna be ready to, if we get a flat tire, I'm gonna be ready to like
right.
And that's just, I don't know why, but I'm just wired that way. Like if we go into, I'm not gonna. When we played Cowboys and Indians growing up, I used to get so mad at my cousins for dressing up in like basketball shorts and sandals. I would not wear sandals. I was like, we have to wear boots.
Yeah. I don't do.
I was so extreme.
I mean, like I do wear basketball shorts. And as a general
remember sandals?
Yeah, I think I used to have a pair, but I was never big on wearing them ever. And I don't own flip flops. Now I do have slides, like Nike slides.
With socks.
But I wear socks when I wear those.
You're not a psychopath.
Yeah, like, bro, I don't think I've ever even seen somebody with bare feet and slides on. I would question that man's sanity.
Do it, but, guys,
slides. I don't even think I've ever seen girls wear slides.
I've seen a ton of bus kids wear slides.
Okay,
and sometimes they wear them without sandals, and it's like, or socks. It's like, what are you doing?
That's weird, bro.
The Matrix. It's like,
I remember being at like teen camp and like you'd be playing games and like the girls would like kick their flip flops off and like,
I know,
bro, their feet would be so gross. Yeah, I mean,
that's another reason. Is like, get them nasty things away. Like,
I mean, like if you would see flip flops laying in the grass, and it looked like those flip flops came from a third world country.
Have you ever had someone, hey, pick up? Could you bring my shoe? I'm like, absolutely not.
No, bro. Like, there's something growing on this flip flop.
The depravity of man. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, dude.
No.
Yeah, that's different. That's a different thing.
No shot.
You guys just, I've never seen. You're not gonna see my feet.
Mm-mm. And I'm so geared that way to where like that will not happen. When someone else does it, like just wears flip flops, I'm like, we are much different. Like, we are much different.
We think differently.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Nope. There's that, bro. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And if you disagree with us,
You're wrong.
You're wrong.
You're gay.
You're wrong, dude. You're wrong. That's just the way it is, man. Men, put some socks on them things.
Put some shoes on. No one needs to see all that.
Yeah.
It's not our... You live your own life, but when your life starts affecting other people, cover up.
I'm trying to look at your hairy toes.
No one wants to see them dogs.
Yeah, bro.
Put them away. So, that was good. You have a question for me?
I just asked you a question about your eyebrows.
You did. So an answer, no. I've never touched them. I
Okay.
can't tell you if my sisters did. My sisters dressed me up in a dress one time, so I don't know what they did.
I'm going to have to fight Olin because he lied to me then.
I'm telling you, it was a misunderstanding.
Okay.
With like, Leanne cuts my hair and cuts, like, she doesn't shape anything. Do my eyebrows look shaped?
I mean, I don't know. No,
They don't. Like, I've never thought anything about my eyebrows.
I mean, if they are shaped, I would hate to see what they look like before.
Yeah, she's not doing a good job.
I'm just going to have to fight him for lying to me. And then if he's that bent out of shape about it, he's going to have to fight Meredith.
All right, here we go.
And he'll get beat up twice.
I got a couple questions for you. You have a couple for me? You have that one?
I had that one. I'll probably come up with some.
All right, well, here we go. Ready?
All right.
Here we go.
How weird are these questions going to be?
I think they're pretty good.
Which doesn't exactly answer my question, but go ahead.
Well,
Am I allowed to pass? If you ask a question, am I allowed to be like, pass? No.
No.
No. What if I absolutely refuse to answer the question?
Then we say, all right, join us again next week. Calm Down Fine Podcast. We're not sure what episode's next week. 59 or 58 or 56, 57.
We're
Here
up
we
there.
go. You ready?
Go.
If you could choose an animal as a battle companion, which one would it be?
A tiger.
You have to pick an animal
Yeah.
that you have to train.
Okay.
You're going to train a tiger?
Yeah. I'm give him as a little baby cub. And we're gonna raise him, bottle feed him. You know what I'm saying? Bottle feed.
How do you...
Show him that I'm the alpha. I'm the dad, right? Train him to fight on command.
Why not a horse?
Well, because horses can't fight.
Bro, you can ride a horse.
I can ride a tiger. I'm a small guy. You ever seen? Have you
You're
ever
a small
seen?
guy, but you can beat 112-year-olds and a 10-year-olds,
Yeah.
12-year-olds. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever seen He-Man, the cartoon, like the old cartoon He-Man?
Didn't he ride a...
He had a tiger, bro. I would tiger it up. Are you not?
That's stupid.
No. Are you saying that's stupid because you didn't think of it?
No.
Are you would take a horse.
A horse is
You take
practical. I can ride it.
Dude, I'm trying to tell you, a tiger gets big enough for me to
Let me
ride.
ask you a question.
Go.
Why haven't, in all of human history, people been choosing tigers as war?
Because there's more horses than there are tigers.
And there are reliable animals.
Okay, think of
In war.
Think of the wars. Think of the wars. Think of them. Are you thinking of them? All right, you're thinking of them, right? Like, which war are you thinking of right now? Civil War? Is that the one you're thinking of?
Spanish American.
Okay. How many tigers are in Spain and how many tigers are in America? Natively.
It wasn't Spain.
I don't know.
It was Mexico, you idiot.
All right, whatever. You said Spanish. I thought of the high class Spanish. So,
Oh, they're coming for you.
so
Next week, it's just me here. What's up?
David's been canceled.
Hello, everybody.
So, all right. So, okay. How many tigers are native to Mexico and America?
None.
None. So there it is.
Tiger King.
Huh. But those aren't native.
What
They
an
were
American
imported.
hero.
Yeah. That guy had it right.
He was gay, you know that?
Huh?
Quiet, silent.
Yeah, tigers, bro. He'd win in a war fight
Dude's a
of
nut.
animals.
Dude's a
They
nut.
also, all right, other countries used to ride war elephants. You trying to tell me that elephant is more practical than a tiger?
Yes.
You're lying.
If you go
To
into
my
war,
face,
David,
you're lying.
You against me.
Okay.
Let's pick a weapon that you get and I get, right?
All right, gun.
A gun. Okay. We'll both get guns.
Okay.
What that? I mean, we just shoot each other's animal, and then we're just like sitting there like. It has to be like a handheld weapon.
Okay. Okay. All
Okay,
right.
let's do this.
All right. Sword.
Since we were
So
talking
have
about
swords.
golf.
We have swords.
Talking about golf.
Okay.
Let's use golf clubs.
All right. We have golf clubs.
You want? Okay.
Okay.
Sound good?
All right.
All right. So now my horse is doing polo, and I could definitely kill you.
You can't.
Why?
Because my tiger's gonna murder your horse. Do you not understand? Horse is not beating a tiger in a fight. I don't care if you're on the tiger.
I don't think a tiger can keep up with a horse.
Bro, you're broken. If you don't think that
I'm broken,
you're broken. Your brain is broken.
The horse isn't. I'm riding the horse. So I'm beating the tiger.
So this war companion is you running away from me? Is that what you're saying? That's what you're telling me right now.
Yes.
I'm not. I'm gonna be on the tiger. I just told you I'm riding the tiger. I just told you I'm riding the tiger.
All right. Look up top speed of tiger.
I'm trying to say, me and Tony are taking you out.
No. Here we go. I'm gonna look up how fast our horse is.
All right. Yeah. You and Seabiscuit over there. You're gonna look up your
Secretariat.
Yeah. Whatever. I'm trying to tell you, bro. Tiger is the way to go. Actually, you know what?
Tell me how fast a tiger can run.
I'm gonna take a grizzly bear. How about that?
That'd be better than a tiger.
It's not. A tiger is top dog, bro.
Top cat.
Top cat.
Or just pick a dog if you want to have a top dog.
From 30 to 40 miles an hour.
All right, horse and easy. Like the average horse that you see your neighbor have. Okay. 55 miles an hour.
All right.
You know how fast it is? I could just run at the tiger and kill the tiger.
Let me get this straight.
And then the horse can kick.
No.
Horses are made for war. The horses prepare against the day of battle. It's biblical. And then I'm on it.
This is what you're saying.
That's a war machine as well.
This is what you're saying. You're saying
that's a killing machine. With a golf club, bro.
Bro, I'll just take your socks off and you're like, oh, you'll freak out. And then I'll kill you. Right? Look. Yes. My feet are in the open.
Oh,
listen, no. So your thing is that horses are faster than tigers, which we've proven to be true.
No, dude. No,
which we've proven to be true. Let me finish my thought. If you say stronger, I'm gonna smack you.
They are, dude.
A horse is stronger than a tiger.
Literally,
you were telling me that a horse,
don't have cars that say tiger power. We have horsepower.
You are lit. That's
a good point.
It's not a good
horsepower, tiger power. When have tigers ever been ever have been grabbed to pull things? Here, pull the stagecoach, tigers. Never.
If you took a herd of horses.
Yes.
Took a herd of
horses are brute beasts.
You took a herd of horses and put them in the savannah. They're going to get eaten.
I'm not talking about in their environment.
Okay, so I'm talking about a tiger versus a horse right now.
We're talking about me and you.
Okay, me and you.
An animal to take into battle.
Right, what I am trying to tell you
is by far.
No, is my tiger going to eat your horse? Why isn't
the Lord Jesus Christ riding back on a tiger?
Because
look, that ball bounced and bounced over those people.
Weakness is made perfect in his strength. All right, so listen.
Tiger's not even in the Bible.
I know, I twisted that verse so hard. Listen.
You're such a tool, man. This is your stupidest argument.
How is this a stupid argument?
So stupid.
A tiger beats a horse, Cameron.
No, it does. How are you going to sit here and say, "Oh, tiger is stronger than a horse"? Okay,
because if
horses carried trained actual locomotives up mountains. Your tigers put them in a harness, pull anything. They can't.
They can, but we just haven't tried because tigers are beasts. They're wild beasts. Yes, they're not known for it, but you're trying to tell me they're not?
They aren't. It's a big cat. It's not a horse.
This might be the dumbest thing you've said on the podcast.
No, I've said a lot of dumb things tonight. No. But this is not one of them.
No, it is, dude. You're trying to tell me that if I had a war tiger and you had a horse, that the tiger wouldn't just murder the horse and you got a golf club.
If I'm on it,
with a golf club.
If I'm riding the horse. No,
you have a golf
and
club.
Let's be realistic.
You're playing polo.
You're not riding your tiger.
I can ride my tiger.
Find me something.
All right, I'm looking it up right now. I'm looking it up. Can you ride a tiger?
My Google search. Are horses stronger than tigers? They're like,
okay.
What?
All right, so what?
All right, so apparently this is a thing.
A Siberian tiger, along with a grizzly bear and lions, are all large enough for a human to ride. However, all are dangerous. Yes, we get that. That's not the question I asked. They could maul people. Yeah, that's what I'm counting on. Is my tiger to maul Cameron and his dumb golf club and his stupid horse.
Golf club. All right, here we go. Who would win, a horse or a tiger? So now we're doing this. And this isn't what I meant to do.
No, but what I'm trying to say is your thing is horses are faster than tigers because you would be on the horse.
Horses are bred for battle.
Okay.
They're bred for competition.
Right, okay. I'm not saying you're wrong in that. I'm not saying you're wrong in that. But your statement was that they're faster. And you said, and I quote, I can run to the tiger and kill it.
A tiger against a horse one-on-one.
But what you're not understanding
but when you take a horse and put a warrior on it.
Okay. All right. There's a warrior on the tiger.
It's me, bro.
No, you're on the horse. I'm on the tiger.
First of all,
warrior's on the tiger.
Yes, that's part of the... And number two...
Bro.
It's you against me with golf clubs.
Okay.
I would venture to say probably I'm a little bit stronger. Not a ton, but I'm a little bit stronger. I'm much better looking.
But you're not as smart. And you know how I know you're not as smart? Because I picked a tiger and you picked a horse. You're like, a horse is faster. But then you're going to run right where I want you, which is in front of my tiger.
No, dude. I'm going to get on my horse and run laps around your dumb tiger. And here's what I'm going to do. It's going to be like a Abner and Asahel, I think. I'm going to be running. And just going to be behind me like, and the horse is going to stop and kick your tiger in the jaw. Pow, dead. Back kick.
Back kick. So
like people try
you're running away from my tiger.
I'm running in circles, wearing you out, and then if the tiger gets close to the horse, I take my golf club and whack it in the skull.
I don't think you understand that a golf club. Listen, if I hit a horse with a golf club, the horse is gonna be like, "Hey, bro, what are you doing? Stop that." If you hit a tiger,
iron in the nose,
if you hit a tiger with a golf club, you're just gonna make him angry.
Actually, if you give me a golf club against a tiger, I would feel pretty confident.
All right. That's the dumbest thing you've ever said on the podcast.
No, a wiffle ball bat.
You're just being ridiculous at this point.
Fly swatter.
I was taking this conversation.
Fly swatter.
I was taking this conversation so seriously.
Give me a fly swatter. Not even one with a metal one, just the plastic.
A plastic fly swatter.
Yeah.
And you're gonna
you know the ones that look like the hand? Just give me that.
And you're just going to beat up a tiger.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm destroying a tiger.
This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard you say.
No, it's true.
It's not like... Dude.
I'm destroying it. Light work.
All right. No, listen, if I'm picking a war animal...
We are going to be looking for something else. Like, right. We have time to spare. Let's... we could take a nap. That would have so much time.
You would lay down on the ground and
take a nap after I killed it with a plastic fly swatter.
Bro, move on to the next question. I won. Tiger was my war animal.
There's no way you
go. I just won. I won.
Wow. He's manifest. I won. That's over. I won. No. It comes down to, this will be my closing arguments on this. It comes down to not the horse itself, but literally horses have been used for combat for years. Right?
Because they're dumb.
And tigers, you're not going to be riding this tiger. Wow, he just made an amazing shot. Look at this shot. David, watch this.
Bro.
Scotty Scheffler.
A tiger would eat both those guys. So
Tiger
fast.
Woods?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tiger Woods, tiger, and golf.
Hey, Tiger Woods, goat.
You have to see this shot.
Well, they're not showing it. So.
Well, what are you doing, fellas?
They're happy for him.
He hit like... Look at this. Ready? Watch. Dude, that's such a shot. Oh my goodness.
I see nothing. It's just a picture of the sky at this point.
And it just goes in the hole.
Well, that is what he was trying to do.
Oh my word.
That's pretty wild.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. They have never practiced that. So
that's amazing. Anyways, it comes down to horses, and they're made for a person riding them, and they're made for a person riding them into combat. So it is, dude.
It's not what horses were made for.
That's how God made them.
God was like, you know what? I'm going to make this war animal.
Yeah, God's riding one actually in the end of days. So
okay, but that's why he made horses Is Adam was in there just naming animals, and he was like, and God was I made this horse.
I think, honestly, I really do think God made a horse.
They were predestined for war.
The Calvinist.
It's so ridiculous.
I do think, like, the primary use of a horse is to help man. Like, I do, like, plow fields, haul, pull, ride.
Are they, though? Because the Bible talks about oxen plowing fields, not horses.
Okay, well, you can do anything with a horse.
All right. So what I'm saying now is, now I believe biblically the ox is more useful than a horse. So now you're in third place.
Let's be honest. With a horse, I could ride it. Even that, you don't even have to say golf club, but we'll stick with golf clubs. But even if we could just make our own weapons, I'm going to be more effective on a horse. Like if I have a bow, dude, you're not going to be riding a tiger effectively.
Any big cat, any big cat is automatically just dismantling any horse.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes, bro.
Not, yes, by themselves, but with a trained destroying man, like a war.
You are a trained destroying war man.
A war criminal, bro.
You're
dude,
you're the merchant of death. I'm
the assassin of hope. I am just the annihilation monster. I'm just a killer, dude.
With a golf club, your weapon of choice.
When it comes to you and me in a golf club, I think I'm beating you with my horse when you have a tiger. You're going to be on the ground being like, get tiger, killing it.
Yeah.
And you're going to be running after me with the golf club.
I don't even need to hit you with the golf club. Right? Ready? This is how I win the fight. Is I go like this because I've trained my tiger since he was a cub.
I've trained my horse.
Since he was a cub. Since he was a cub, I've had my tiger, raised him as if he was my own.
I'm going to be...
Listen.
Okay, go ahead.
This is how I win the fight, right? Is I take my golf club and this tiger that I've trained, and I go like this. I go. And I just point at you with the golf club.
Yeah.
And then the tiger proceeds to eat both of you.
No.
Do you understand that's how that would go?
My horse, much faster than that dumb tiger.
Okay.
I literally go, whoosh, we take off.
All right, and where are you going? Towards the tiger? Is that where you're going?
Yeah, towards the tiger.
You're just speeding all 55 miles an hour easily to your death.
Hit it in the head with a golf club. Look up, can a golf club kill a tiger? All right, we're done.
Move on, bro. What's the next question?
You were supposed to ask me a question.
Oh.
I've got another one if you want.
All right, hit me with another one. While I had the questions pulled up, and then now my search is tiger speed, miles per hour, and can you ride a tiger?
If you were able to fly, but you could only use your superpower for 30 seconds at a time, how would you make sure you didn't get stuck in midair?
If you could fly,
yeah,
but you could only use
your superpower for 30 seconds at a time.
30 seconds at a time.
Yes. I think the obvious answer is just come down.
I just wouldn't fly very high.
Yeah. Well, what if you want to get to on top of something? Like, hey, I bet you can't get to the top of the building in 30 seconds.
How fast can I fly?
I mean, the question says what the question asks.
All right, so am I flying at the speed of Superman? I could get pretty far in 30 seconds.
Yeah, but when you fall, you fall. Like, you're not, like, immortal.
No, I get that. But what I'm saying is if I'm flying 50 miles an hour,
you'd have to have a rule, because just like it's like this. Oh, I'm never going to run out of gas. I'm fine. But people run out of gas all the time. There's going to be a time where you're like, so basically like this, David, if everyone had the superpower of flying for 30 seconds, there would have to be some type of rules and laws, because there'd be so many people who like ran the stop sign and got killed. You're not supposed to do that, but people still do it. You're not supposed to merge over to the other lane and get killed. You're not supposed to run stoplights, but people do it all the time. So there would be so many people just like, a man fell from the sky. It's time.
All the time. All the time.
So there had to be some rules, like
if I could fly,
land after 20 seconds.
Right. But if I could
Don't
fly
go so high to where...
If I could fly at a very, very quick speed, I would be... Let's say I need to get up to like the 10th story of a building. There's a balcony there. You can easily make it to the 10th story in less than 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is even though it's at 30 seconds, it would still be very useful. It's just you have to be like conscious of
an
where you're
airplane
going.
falling from the sky. Go get it. It's like,
Yeah, man.
Ooh, yeah. You'd have so many things like that. Like, oh, hey, guess what? We need. Well, Walmart isn't easy because you just like we'll love.
Yeah, bro. If I was just flying like 4 or 5 feet, just like
you know how careful you have to be. You hit something.
Bro, yeah. I mean, just as careful as you are driving a car.
You're like driving just down the highway, just chilling.
Yeah, bro. Just people, but they're still sitting like they're driving cars. They're flying like this.
You land, and then you get hit because you have to 30 seconds. So it's like
they'd be red lights. And then how long do you have to stand on the ground before you're allowed to fly again?
That's what. Yeah, it's immediate. You touch the ground, you're good to go.
So like. All right, bro. So this is what I would do. It would just look like I was taking the longest strides while I was running. I'd just be like, like it's just.
But you don't have superhuman, like your ankles, you would be really hurting.
I got bad ankles now anyway.
It'd be like, like, you roll your ankle. It's like,
Doesn't, bro. I'd get a bubble wrap suit. Yeah, dude, I'd be set, man.
So dumb.
I would be fine. I'd be perfectly fine.
Yeah. Well. Okay. Well, that was my questions for you.
There was a question I saw that said, "What's the weirdest thing you've ever done in a supermarket?"
I'm a man.
All right, I have a story.
I don't go to supermarkets.
So I have a story. We did a thing. Brother Samson, one time when we were teenagers, did a. It was like a scavenger hunt kind of a thing where he gave everybody a list, broke people up into groups, and you had to go out into the world for like a couple hours, and you just had to video record you doing these ridiculous things on the list.
I've done one of those.
And one of the things was to go into a grocery store and act like Steve Irwin.
Crikey!
So,
oh my God,
I went all out, and I got Miss Lynette is recording me, and I'm walking down the aisle, dude. And I'm like, I vividly remember this because I'm like, I'm like walking down the aisle, and I'm like, oh, here we have a bottle of water in its natural habitat, right? And I like pick it up, and I'm like, oh, it's all right. I'm like acting like, yeah, there's like people looking at me like, what is this weirdo doing? And then I pick up, lemon water. I'm like, oh, here we have its distant cousin. Oh, I said with a hint of lemon, it's water with attitude. And like we're going through the whole thing, and I'm acting up. And the manager of Acme like walks up to me, and he's like, you can't do that here. And I go, crikey, mate. And he's like, you can't be in here. You need to leave. And I'm like, I assume Miss Lynette had stopped recording at that point because we're getting kicked out of Acme. Yeah. But I'm like, oh, I'm like, it's all right, mate. It's all right. Oh, she's a beauty. And he's like, get out. I'm like, oh, it's okay. It's all right. And I'm just like backing away from this guy. Miss Lynette is laughing so hard.
Such a great testimony.
But I was just like, I'm like, oh.
And that person went to hell.
I mean, he was kind of young. I imagine he's not that old yet.
Let's pray for him.
I don't know what his name is. Acme guy from like 15, 20 years ago.
He's a listener, and he's here now. Hey, come on in.
Hi, Mike. So yeah, I saw that question, and it reminded me of that story of when we did that. Which was like a really fun thing. I have a story. I don't know how much. I'm not allowed to give a whole lot of detail out.
Okay.
But here's the story. So, I am the worst trainer.
Yes. Nope. Just stop there.
I could.
I am the worst.
When I tell the rest of the story,
I am the worst.
When I tell the rest of the story, it's going to support your claims. Listen.
You said you're the worst trainer?
Yep. Of all time. So at work, got a new guy working for our company. And I think that I'm not really like, I'm not allowed to like give his name out or anything like that because there's
Steve.
We'll call him Steve. Yeah, we'll call him Steve. And so Steve's.
Don't give his name out, bro. What Steve's, if I nailed it?
You didn't.
You're like, yeah, Steve.
You're way off. So
Max.
He starts. It's his first day, right?
Give me 4 chances.
Okay, go.
Jason.
Nope.
Mike.
Nope.
Bob.
Nope.
Andrew.
No. So
I have one more.
you said 4. You just named 4.
No, I said 5.
All right, 5 go.
David.
No. So
What's his name?
I can't say. So anyway, actually, I don't even know if I would get in trouble because I'm not his boss or anything like that. So I don't know if HIPAA applies.
Yeah.
So anyway, so it's his first day of work. Now this guy has more experience than I do in the job.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's been locating like more years than I have. But it's like he just got hired onto the company and stuff, and he was supposed to be taking over my area up in Wilmington. So they were like, "Hey, like head up," and he's like, "Okay." So I'm working with this guy for the week,
right?
Showing him how to do Del Dot utilities, stuff like that. On day 3, he goes, "Hey," excuse me. He goes, "Hey, how about in the morning, instead of me meeting you at our first job, you take a picture of a ticket, send it to me. I will go do that ticket, and then I'll call you. You show up afterwards, make sure that my marks are all, like, they're all on point. They're straight before you close the ticket out. That way we can see if I'm getting it." I go, "That's a really good idea." So I end up sending him to an intersection that I already, like, I know where everything is already. Right. I've marked it out 100 times. Like, I already know where everything is. And I even tell him, I said, "Hey, dude, I've been at this place. I know where everything is. Mark it out. Give me a call. I'll come and check it out. Make sure everything's good to go." So in the morning, send him the ticket. He goes, "All right," boom. He goes out to the ticket. About an hour or so goes by. And he gives me a call. And I didn't get to my phone in time, so he leaves me a voicemail. I listen to the voicemail. He's like, "Hey, Dave, it's me." And I'm thinking he's going to tell me that he's done. He's been checking marks. He goes, "Hey, Dave, it's me. Chopped my finger off."
Oh. I was not expecting that.
And I go, I'm like, "What?" So I call him. He answers the phone.
Dude,
and bro, for a guy who and I'm thinking, dude, like he chopped his entire finger off. But it was like he chopped like that much of his finger off.
Ow.
So so I call him, right? And he's in the ambulance. And for a guy who just chopped his finger off, he's the most calm. Bro, it's like it was like another day. He's just like, "Hey, what's up?" And I was like,
"Another day, another finger."
Yeah, I'm like, "Dude, are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And I'm like, "What, dude? What happened?" And he starts explaining it to me, but then he gets distracted because like the EMT that's in the
Come up here. Come. I was talking to the dog, not David.
The EMT is like in the background, and I hear him say, "Oh, I found it. It's in the glove."
Oh.
So this guy he was opening up one of the metal J wells, which weighs about 50 pounds.
Yep. I know what you're saying.
And he's got it on the hook,
yeah.
And he's going to transfer the weight to his hand, and it slips off the hook,
Yep.
No, I thought it got pinched, but he said, he's explaining it to me, it just went and took it clean off. And then they took him he went to the hospital. I got on the site where it was.
No, stop.
Looked like a murder scene. Like there was like blood on the ground and stuff. Yeah, so they sewed it back on to see if it would if the body would reattach it and stuff like that. And I was like, "Bro, I'm 0 for 1 on sending trainees home with full 10 fingers."
It's awful,
dude. I'm feeling terrible, and everybody, like my boss, he called me and was like, "Hey, dude, like this isn't your fault, obviously, like da 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 da." And I'm like,
"It's not your fault, dude."
I understand logically, right? Logically, I understand it's not my fault. But I sent this man to his first job ever, and an hour later, the man's got 9.5 fingers. Like I don't what do you like?
So interestingly enough, I have a story.
Oh boy!
About something like this. So me and Dad were working. That slider right there, just a slider, whatever.
Yeah.
So it was a beach house, and there was these sliders, and the company sent the wrong sliders. They were the wrong panels.
Okay.
Like, it was supposed to be, different panels, and it was just like clear, like just nothing. So we put them in, like when we built the house. It's wrong. I'm sorry. This was a remodel job, and they were getting new sliders. So we were taking the sliders out and putting them in, and Dad came as the foreman. He came to check on me, Kazzy, another guy who were taking these sliders out. So he just basically showed up to look what we're doing, make sure it's all done right. And to get those sliders out, there's a track. There's a track at the top and a track at the bottom. But then there's like a protective sleeve that keeps them in. So you have to like put a screw in it, unloosen the screw so the wheels on the slider, they go up into the slider so you can pry it out and pop it out.
Yeah.
And then when you get it into the track, you extend this thing and it makes it tight so it doesn't come out. So we have this slider and we can't get it out. We have all 4 corners out except one, and it won't budge. So we have a pry bar, and Dad gets down there and he's like, all right. He gets down, puts his hand underneath the slider part that's out, and I put the pry bar underneath it, trying to pop it out of the track.
This is already bad.
So I put it in there, and I'm jerking, and I jerk one more time, and the slider pops out it just pops out it comes off the ground, off the track, and the corner of the slider, which is very heavy, hits my dad's finger. Just, and he, by the way, he reacted, like he just grabbed it. He had a glove on, grabbed his hand, just instant pouring blood, just like a spigot, not like just, it was like just filled up. He takes off his hand, his glove, his finger's gone. Just like you said, from fingernail down, gone. And I'm the one who was like, it was like 1, 2, 3, and I yanked, and then I like yanked again, and he wasn't ready, which is, it's normal. It's not like whatever, but it was literally my fault. And the corner of it, and it's the oddest thing, because it's not sharp at all. It's not sharp. It's just the corner.
Right.
And it just popped out and just went right into his finger. The finger was in the glove.
Oh, man.
And I found it. I was like, sweet. I brought it to the hospital. They couldn't reattach it. It was too mangled. But
yeah, so this was like clean off.
No, this was not. This is just jagged.
So wait, have I never noticed that your dad
It happened last year.
Oh, it happened last year. And I just haven't noticed.
It doesn't look like anything different. Like it's this finger, it was already shorter than your middle finger. It was a pointer. Or maybe it was the ring finger. It doesn't look any different. It's a good half inch. I mean, like probably 5/8 shorter.
I'm going to be looking next time I see your dad.
Look, definitely.
This happened last year. That's wild.
Yeah, and there was like 5 guys in our church who were missing parts of their fingers, and it's a club now.
That's weird.
Yeah, I'm always paranoid and pray all the time because I daily use chop saws and table saws.
Right.
Table saws, I'm running blades right. I might stuff right by a blade. So
there was a guy.
We need to wrap this one up.
All right, last story. There was a guy who, if I said his name, you would know him. He only has 9 fingers, and he one day, I mean, like I had known him for years, and one day I was like, hey, like, you never told me how you lost your finger. Like, how did that happen? And he said, if I'm remembering this correctly, I might have a couple details off, but he said that basically he was taking, like, he had one of those bolt guns to take the like the lug nuts off of a tire.
Yep.
And his finger like got caught in there.
Oh.
And he said it was basically already ripped off. So like he looked at it and was just like, yep. He was like, I got to. So he just pulled the trigger again to take his finger because it was like mangled in there. Yeah. And it was like, so he was just like,
I guess you just have to be in the moment and be like,
yeah,
you're just gonna sit there with
he's
it.
Like, what am I gonna sit here and bleed out? Or so he was just like, boom, hit the button again, took his finger off, and now he has 9 fingers. I was like,
the whole thing.
I was like, to have to make that decision is,
oh my goodness, yeah, it's insane. I was talking to a guy one time.
I don't even know. I'm gonna have to like Google to see if I'm even allowed to say that story.
So there was another guy, and he had 4 fingers. He had 4 fingers, but the one finger was it was like completely gone. No knuckle, no nothing. Like there was no.
Oh, like all the way down.
Yeah, and he was working on a machine, and he was like over top of the machine, and he was working on something, and the gear. It was like a gear, and it just went and literally sucked his whole thing right out. The whole thing, like everything. So there's just literally a hole in where his one finger was. Just my grandfather, my pawpaw, my mom's dad, had these fingers right here. Right here. That's it. No, right. This was like this. He had those 2 fingers, and like this one was a little bit farther up.
Who's that guy? You remember that guy?
And here's how it
He
happened.
used to play the piano. He only had like 6 fingers.
You don't know.
He had like 3 fingers on each hand.
I don't know.
You don't remember that guy?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
But my grandfather, when he was 2, his brother put his fingers on the chopping block, and his brother was like 4.
Yeah.
Because he just saw his dad chopping wood, and went 2 years old. And so he was like, this is my grandfather, just like that, and he would smoke like this. Just like that. Yep.
Dude, that's so like
that's
so
it.
inconvenient.
I know. It's so inconvenient.
I'm gonna have to like.
This is an odd way to wrap it up, but we need to wrap it up. I got a baby I gotta attend to.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to like look up to make sure that I'm even allowed to tell that story on the podcast, so that I can't get. I mean, I didn't say his name or anything like that. So
yeah, I think it's fun.
It
You
should
want to
be
give the
fun.
gospel?
Sure.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for listening. Enjoy the podcast. We should set up that support thing. See if anyone does it. Another guy sent in an email and said he wants to send us $50.
Whoa.
Like a month or something. That's what he wants to do. So we just have to set up our Cash App or Venmo or something.
Get on it, bro. Woo. All right, then.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Here's the gospel as is told by David.
All right. Well, speaking of hand injuries.
Yeah.
Speaking of hand injuries.
Hey.
God in the flesh, Jesus Christ, came down to earth, lived a perfect, sinless life, and he was crucified on your behalf. He took your sin upon himself, and he put nails through his hands and his feet, and he was crucified, and he was the ultimate sacrifice for your sin. 3 days later, he rose again, according to the scriptures. And if he did that for you so that you could get saved, so that you don't have to go to an eternal hell and literally burn for all of eternity. He did that for you. He did that for me. He did that for Cam. He did that for everybody. Don't let his sacrifice go to waste in your life. Take advantage of it. Call on the Lord to save you of your sin.
Amen.
Because you deserve to go to hell, and he already paid the price for you so that you don't have to. So I would strongly encourage you to call on the Lord Jesus Christ to be saved from your sin, to not go to eternal hell forever. If you have any questions or like anything like that, you can email in. Any of us would be glad to explain things more to you, to walk you through it. We that's ultimately what our goal in life is, to lead people to the Lord. So if you have any questions, please email in.
All right, guys, thanks again for listening to the podcast. If you enjoy it, give us a follow on all our social media. Give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. Leave a review. Take time to do that. That really helps us. And also, you can give us financial support by going to the description in our podcast notes. And you can donate, do a monthly donation. That's it for this week.
Also, buy a shirt at cdifmerch.com.
Yep.
Buy a shirt.
All right, see you next week, guys. Bye. Calm down. It's fine.